Hey, Kyle, what's the story on why 5149 James Lee was fired from Breaking Points? So, from what I gathered about that, he did an interview with this Elijah Schaefer character. And Elijah Schaefer is, I believe, being sued either by Cash Patel or by his girlfriend or both. And Elijah Schaefer is also like a very well known far right winger, sort of like openly anti Semitic. The guy is really bad news, like a total piece of shit. Aligned with all the characters that I fucking despise, the Nick Fuentes types and the Tucker Carlson types. So anyway, James Lee did an interview with Elijah Schaefer, and it was a total fucking softball interview where you got this guy who's like a well-known open anti-Semite and is currently being sued by either Cash Patel or his girlfriend or both, and he didn't ask any like tough questions. And so Breaking Points was getting legal threats. They were getting lawsuit threats. And so they basically said to James Lee, like, hey, thank you for everything you've done, but we can't run this, and we're not going to run this because we're not going to get sued because you did a shitty fucking interview with a guy who's both an anti-Semite and getting sued. And then James Lee decides to go on his little fucking virtue signaling tour like he's some sort of victim or hero. And it's like, nah, bro, you just did a shitty interview with a guy who's getting sued, and the Breaking Points.
And by the way, from what I gather from this, it's like, say Crystal Sager or Ryan Grimm or Emily Jasinski, say they had conducted an interview and that they were going to put it on the Breaking Points channel, but say they were getting legal threats, I imagine they would have stood on their ground and say, hey, we conducted this interview, we're going to put it out because we don't want to be intimidated. But what they're not going to do is go through all of that hell behind the scenes for someone who's not even actually part of their crew, and for someone whose work they can't even really vouch for, in the sense because he wasn't asking any of those tough questions that would have made it more, journalistically worthwhile and journalistically responsible, given you're talking to a fucking Nazi. So I totally understand that from that perspective. It's like, it's one thing to go through all that legal hell to defend your own work, to, defend your own fucking shit that you did. It's another thing to go through all of that legal nightmare and hell and threats for some contributor guy who's not actually even part of the actual team.
Yep. Want to open themselves up to fucking legal liability. So of course they're not going to run your shit, So anyway, that's the backstory, and he's going to continue to go on his little like virtue signaling tour and humiliate himself. And good luck to him doing that. It's not going to work out well.
Yeah, fall back, James Lee.
Fall back, James Lee.
Damn. Yeah, so pretty savage. Kyle was feeling spicy last night. When was this?
Yeah, last night.
Yeah, last night on Kyle Corin. Shout out to Kyle and Corin, by the way. I definitely recommend all you guys subscribe to Corin's World. I always have a good time watching them. I actually was watching this live last night. If you were in chat, you might have seen me in chat too. But I guess I didn't watch long enough to get to this spicy part because I did not hear that. Either way, good shit. Good shit. 100%. I think he's accurate on that one. If I was Breaking Points, I would also not want to go through legal nightmares to defend some shitty interview done by some contributor guy who's barely even part of the crew.
Yep, 100%. So getting a little bit more of the tea from Kyle Kulinski. And after I scrolled that guy's fucking feed this morning, I was like, something is not right about this dude. Like, I'm looking at it immediately off the bat. All of my like spidey senses go off that this dude's a white nationalist, that this dude's a groiper, that he has perverse motivations. And
Elijah Schaefer.
Yeah, not James Lee, excuse me. The Elijah Schaefer gentleman that he was responsible for interviewing. It's like, yeah, that's going to have baggage. It's like having Nick Fuentes on your show. You know what I mean? If you don't do a good job, if you don't, actually hold him accountable, people are going to be pissed off. And not only that, there was the added legal element of all of it. So again, one, James Lee, not thorough enough, I would imagine, for Breaking Points to want to go through all that legal battle because he might lose, right? And then Elijah Schaefer not being a character that you want to stick your neck out for. You could be like, yeah, I don't approve of that. I don't want to see people sued for tweets, but I'm also not going to lay in traffic for this guy because he's literally the worst. There's no redeeming qualities about him from what I could see. He was praising Elon Musk and live tweeting racist shit, all fucking morning when I was taking a look at his account. So, those are the kind of people that James Lee wants to go spend time with. He's talking about how, Candace Owens is about to drop the smoking gun. all of that bullshit. I mean, you can directly watch. Candace Owens is still milking the Charlie Kirk cow with less and less evidence and less tether to reality, if you can believe it, because it's the only thing that she can put out that even remotely gets her back to that, the main page of YouTube. I have 150,000 live viewers watching me. I'm getting 2 million, 3 million, sometimes 5 million views an episode. She really had a stranglehold on tons of people's media diet for a while, and she's losing that grip. And so she's still desperate to make it seem like there's more new, interesting stuff developing in the Charlie Kirk case when there just isn't.